Concordia. Are you not entertained? Concordia is a game about Romans. That's why it was the Colosseum and the fighting and the Romans. However, Concordia is not about Colosseums or gladiators. Concordia is about spreading your Roman dynasty across Europe as far and wide as you can. Concordia doesn't mean conquering or accordion, it means agreement. This is a game about travelling around Europe agreeing with as many people as possible. You'll be travelling to England and saying, yes, I agree. You'll be travelling to France and saying, oui, je suis d'accord. You'll be travelling to Egypt and saying, I don't know what language they speak in Egypt. And I'm pretty sure it's not in Europe. But yes, I agree. So we're talking about Roman dynasties. Now I have to be honest, I kind of vaguely understand the word, but I don't know the strict definition of dynasty. So let's find out. Dynasty, a succession of people from the same family who play a prominent role in business, politics, or another field. Some good old-fashioned nepotism. So a Roman dynasty, Roman means from Rome, and Rome is a city in Georgia, which is apparently a state in some place called America. I don't know about you, but this box does not appeal to me. This does not get me excited to play a game. Let's overlook for a moment the fact that this is a really big, awkward shape to get on a shelf. What are we even looking at here? Front and centre we've got this lady. She looks a bit like your mate's mum when you were growing up, who you low-key had a crush on, but you look back at as an adult and think, no thanks. Was that a bit too specific? She's out shopping, highlight of her day. She's got cloth on her shoulder, cloth on her arm, and she's buying more of the stuff. Make a note of that. It'll be important later. She's having a good old natter about how her husband Fabius can't build a road to save his life. What is he like? The merchant here just doing his job, smiling and nodding, but internally screaming, wishing he was on the cover of a different board game. Just there's a soldier to let us know that violence is never too far away. But even he's not interested. He's looking at something on the floor, which is apparently more interesting than the cover of this game. The lady behind him, is she supposed to be sneaking round? I don't know. There's some birds up here, and this bird's doing it. What? Wait, why is the bird doing it? That bird is doing it. It's doing a... That doesn't happen in the game. So, Concordia can serve as a valuable lesson for us all. Never judge a game by its cover. You'd be much better off judging a game by what's on the back of the box, because often there's a photo and a description, and you can just get a lot more information from the back than the front. But what's in the box? Concordia features a lovely map of Europe, with all the cities written in funny words. London? No, this is Londinivum. How about a trip to Brigantivum? Or a week in Dirhakvum? On the other side, there's a map of Italy. I can't see that America place anywhere though. There's some money called Sertius. Alongside 15 wooden houses, each player gets a storehouse full of colonists and resources. Resources include bricks valued at 3 semesters, food which costs 4 sylvesters, tools which cost 5 sombreros, wine at 6 Suzukis, and cloth, which costs 7 Sonic the Hedgehogs. Remember the chick on the cover, all decked out in cloth? Because cloth's the most valuable resource. Quite starchy cloth. Your storehouse has 12 rooms, each can be occupied by 1 thing. You got room for another brick in there? Sorry mate, we already got 12 things, storehouse is full. What's in those rooms behind you? Well, in this room we've got a massive boat, literally capable of traversing oceans. And in this room, we've got a brick. Can't I just put this brick in with that brick? Can you put that brick in with... No, I can't see how that could possibly work. There's also a bunch of personality cards, some of which will start in the player's hand, and the rest will sit up here. Now, we all know, nobody cares about your personality. Looking like a Roman statue is the only thing that matters in life. But in Concordia, the more personality cards you have, the more likely you are to win. Concordia also comes with this historical document to give you some context about the game you're playing. You could find out all sorts of information, like how Pergamon became a Roman province thanks to a testamentary contract in 133 BC. The same statue was given to the remains of Seleucid Empire, which finally collapsed in 63 BC and was divided between the Roman Empire and the Parthian Empire in the east. So, that's fun. This is a board game. It's not supposed to be fun. So how do you actually play? I am so glad you asked. On their turn, players will play one of the personality cards in their hand. They'll do the thing it says on the card, and that's it, end of their turn. It's very quick, very snappy, very straightforward. So, let's take a look at the starting cards. The first card we need to understand is the Tribune card. Tribune. I don't know, I don't care. This does two things. First, it lets you get new colonists onto the board, but more importantly, it lets you bring back all of the cards you've already played back into your hand. You'll also get a cheeky little bonus of sniper rifles, which is higher the more cards you've played, incentivizing you to cycle through as many as you can before bringing them back into your hand. The Architect card is where things start getting interesting. The Architect card allows you to move colonists and build houses, which brings up two very interesting questions. What is a colonist and what is a house? Colonists come in two flavours, land and sea. The land colonists have legs and they move on the brown land routes. The sea colonists can float and they move on the blue sea routes. I was going to make a joke here about how silly it is that you can walk across the English Channel, and then I realised Spain and Africa are literally connected. Apparently there's been some tectonic shifts. Colonists are used to build houses, and it's worth noting that the rules use the word house. These aren't settlements or colonies, but houses. So what is a house? To answer that question, I've come here. This is the most exposed Roman house in the UK. So what can this teach us about the houses in the game Concordia? Absolutely nothing. I just thought that thematically it made sense. Was it really worth me driving all the way out here? Probably not. But my parents don't live too far away, so I'll go give them a visit once I'm done here. Each city on the board will be associated with one of the 5 resources. To build a house in that city, you will need a brick, some Sherlock Holmes, and the resource in question. Once you've built the house, you'll be able to start producing that resource, but you need the resource to build the house. For example, you can't build tools without tools. It's a bit like when you buy a pair of scissors and they're wrapped in plastic and you can't get them out without a bloody pair of scissors. Colonists never actually enter cities. They occupy the roads outside the cities and somehow build houses from there. You're right there, mate. Yeah, I just came to start trading in cloth. I got some money, got a brick, got some cloth. That's good, because as we all know, a city is only capable of producing one thing, and ours is a cloth city. I wish I lived in one of the food cities. I am so hungry. Are you just going to stand in the middle of the road? The city's a few miles down. Yeah, I'm good here. You sure? If you go into the city, there's a bustling marketplace, thousands of people. Don't tell me how to do my job. Colonists cannot stop on roads that are already occupied. On occasion, this can make certain cities totally inaccessible. Oi! Get out of here, you! This road's only 550 miles long. That's not enough for 2 Romans. The Prefect card allows you to reap the rewards from the houses you built with the Architect card. Each player starts with 2 Prefect cards, and when you play one of 2 things happens. Thing the first! Choose one of the map's provinces shown up here. You'll receive the resource shown on the tile, twice if you happen to be holding the Prefectus Magnus card. You'll also receive resources for any cities where you have a house in that province. But other players with houses in that province will also receive resources. When a province is prefected, the tile flips over, showing 1 or 2 Shaolin monks. Thing the second! Flip all the tiles back over to their resource side and collect all the visible service stations. Choosing when to take a province, or when to take the sandwiches, also taking into consideration the Prefectus Magnus card, which must be passed on when played, is a core part of the delicious Concordia puzzle. This is a Roman mosaic. Hundreds of tiles meticulously placed in a pattern. There's a board game called Mosaic. It's probably quite good, but I haven't played it. The Mercator card gives you a few Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Siths and lets you buy and sell resources to and from your storehouse. Little fact about Roman storehouses: Romans would use cats in their storehouses as pest control. The Senator card lets you spend resources to buy extra personality cards from the display up here. Having more personality cards not only lets you do more things, but they'll contribute to your final score at the end of the game. Each personality card pays tribute to a different Roman god, and each god has a different scoring criteria. Choosing which cards to purchase adds an extra layer of spice. Do you go all out trying to appease one god, or cover your bases with all of them? The truth is, it doesn't matter, because they don't exist and it's only a game. Grow up. An ancient Roman family would have lived in this house. This is the kitchen where an ancient Roman housewife would have lovingly prepared ancient Roman pizza for her ancient Roman kids. The kids would have been waiting in here, but they weren't like the kids of today. They didn't have smartphones or PlayStations. They would have had to make do with some kind of ancient games console, like a Nintendo 64, or as they would have called it, the Nintendo LXIV. The final starting card is the Diplomat, and the Diplomat is the cheekiest. The Diplomat lets you copy the last played card of another player. This might let you eke out another house before needing to tribune. It might let you copy one of the unique cards that they've bought from the display. Anything can happen. I mean, you can't diplomat a diplomat card and you can't diplomat a tribune. And obviously you can only diplomat things that are written on cards. So there's about 5 or 6 things, 7 maybe, that can happen. This Roman wall was built around the time of Julius Caesar and is still standing strong today. We know this because they kindly left a plaque for us. Really makes you think, doesn't it? I had a guy come round about 2 years ago, do a fence in my garden. It's already falling apart. See? Look at this. Useless. Around the edge of the board is a scoring track, and an interesting quirk of Concordia is, much like my face right now, the scoring is entirely hidden. These markers won't move until the very end of the game, and that will happen either when one player has got all of their houses out or all of the personality cards have been bought. And then my face, because it's not hidden anymore. Did you miss me? So that's 22 for Saturn, 20 for Mercury, 30 for Mars, and 38 for Minerva. 159 points. Looks like I win. Oh, because on the box, the bird and the... It does happen in the game, fair enough, yeah. So what's the verdict on Concordia? What? Huh? Who put this guy in charge? Don't worry, it's not what you think. Hollywood has lied to you. Most historians now agree, and this is true, you can look it up, that a thumbs up meant kill the gladiator, and a thumbs down meant spare the gladiator. So in this case, the Emperor liked Concordia. Never let it be said you don't learn things in my videos. Concordia is an awesome game. I wanted Monopoly to win. It's an awesome game, but it's not going to win in a fight against a lion. I mean, come on, it's a board game. It couldn't even beat my cat. Do you feel better now? Now that you've beaten Concordia? Yeah? Oh.